Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. I'm really sorry for today's technical issue. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Entrepreneurship Within, how to grow in and excel in any organization in just 3 months. Our guest speaker today is Bimadraj Sharan Sinha. He is the CEO at IdeaBulls. Mr. Bimadraj Sharan Sinha has a strong entrepreneurial foundation, and his multi-dimensional experiences in strategizing, sales, distribution, IT, etc. has been instrumental in building the telecommunication capabilities for small MVNOs. As CEO, IdeaBulls, he has been responsible for charting strategies for many and middle-class entrepreneurs and managing their operations in India and abroad. Mr. Sinha is a dynamic personality with the enthusiasm to drive innovation in companies of various domains. With an active spirit, he is the driving force behind the energetic team of IdeaBulls. He is a B.Tech in electrical engineering and holder of advanced management degree for IIM Calcutta. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Mr. Sinha.
Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Yes, everybody can hear you. You can please proceed with the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Aradhana. Now, I would like to briefly talk to you all about entrepreneurship within. And as we nowadays call it, intrapreneurship. What is this intrapreneurship? Entrepreneurship within. What are we actually discussing about? This is a very important point. Because today businesses have become far too big, far too many countries, far too many states in too many countries. Every region, niche marketing has to be done for every niche product that you are marketing today. And it really is a huge exercise, not left to one person to run the business. In India, this thing was espoused long back by the great Mr. J.R.D. Tata, son of Jamshedji Tata. He got the right people for the right job. Tata Chemicals was headed by one gentleman. Tata Tea was handled by another gentleman. Tata Steel is such a famous case. He got all the industries. He got all the entrepreneurs working there. They were all entrepreneurs, but within the fold of Tatas. And all these gentlemen took all these companies to new heights, which has made Tatas today the biggest group in this country. I'm talking about India because that is what we can understand immediately today, in today's context. So let's look at the turnover of Tatas today. 6 lakh crores per annum. That's about 3 to 4% GDP of the entire country. And when we talk about Tatas, when we talk about so many companies, today I can bet that Mr. Ratan Tata cannot tell the number of companies. Maybe he might be able to tell the number, but he will not be able to tell how many companies and what are the addresses in his own group. Then how are all these companies running? The answer is intrapreneurship. He found the right people, he made the right processes, and these processes were handed over to these people to help the company run. And the result is a 6 lakh crore turnover. The next 9 top groups of this company, including Mr. Mukesh Ambani's, all combined together still do not add up to the turnover that Tata's gives us. And it is supposed to be a conservative group. Ask any person on the road and he'll tell you Tata's is quite a conservative group. It's like being in the government department. This is intrapreneurship. Intrapreneurship is a very big topic today. Can we get people to work like entrepreneurs, grow the organization, and the organization grows in all directions. And I will not say north, west, south, east, but I'll say all directions, 360 degrees, all directions, like a spear like a balloon, ballooning up in all directions. And that's what is the need of the hour for any organization to grow. It is impossible anymore for one individual to look after the entire enterprise, and therefore the need of enterprise within. Intrapreneurship. Now, I would like to explain you how do we go about doing it. how do we get the people to work for your company as part of an enterprise? I'm sorry, I would like to apologize in the beginning. My original PowerPoint presentation is not available for certain technical reasons, and I will not be able to give you the best possible presentation, but I'll definitely see to it that the 25-slide presentation that I prepared will be taken care of and mailed to all of you by today night or maximum by tomorrow morning. I'm really sorry about the technical issue, but I'll continue from here. Now I will talk to you about the most problematic area today in the world, and that thing is a very simple word called thinking. The biggest problem today is thinking. Everybody is dreaming. I want to do this, I want to do that. Everybody is thinking. He thinks he's the best thinker in the world. He knows how to run Tatas, but he's not able to run his household. He knows how to run a multinational like, let's say, HP, but he's again not able to even pay for his daily expenses. What is the disconnect? Where is the disconnect? The biggest problem is thinking. Everybody knows the right way. A person who has achieved a turnover of 100 crores, he thinks he knows everything about it, till he meets another person who has done a turnover of 1,000 crores, and then he realizes, oh, what an idiot I've been. There's a lovely book by an ex-Howardite on this issue, and the name of the book is What Got You Here Will Not Get You There. Amazing book. It tells you that how you earn your first crore is very different how you earn your 10 and how you go to 1,000 crores and beyond. Now naturally, when you have to cross turnovers of 1,000 crore and above, the thing is that do you have enough people? Do you have enough people to run the organization on their own without you having to look after the day-to-day affairs? In fact, if you look after the day-to-day affairs, and if you cross the 100 crore turnover, I'll be shocked, I'll be surprised. Any management person will be shocked and surprised. How can you look after the day-to-day affairs of a company which is 100 crore turnover plus? How do we do it? The point is, again, we need to create the entrepreneurs who are going to look after the various divisions or the various companies which are subsidiaries of the parent company. And this is what we are talking about. So the first key thing that we need to talk about is the thing called think. Thinking. Thinking is a very important criteria. Without the correct thinking and organizing your thought process, you're not going anywhere. Whether you're working in the job, are you looking after a company, or sorry, or you are running the company. If you cannot think right, if you cannot organize your thinking, you're dead. The company is not going anywhere. Neither is your career. So what do you do? How do you organize your thinking? Let me tell you about a very simple product called mind mapping. Today, I hope you all have got your pens and papers ready. Please note down a few points. Even though I'm going to mail you the PowerPoint presentation, the thing is mind mapping. How many of you are aware of the mind mapping software? Tony Buzan, the person who invented the process, or rather he gave name to the process. Kindly download the free softwares, practice on them. One name I can tell you today right immediately is one is Think by Mr. Buzan, I think, and the other one is XMind, very famous softwares. Use them. Start organizing your thought process, and then you'll find that there are a huge amount of gaps in your thinking, and that's what separates the doer, the winner, from the person who's the failure. Organized thinking, very critical process. Kindly start using mind mapping softwares. Anybody from a child upward of a child upward the age of 7 or 8 years can start using it till the day you see your last day on earth. Kindly use this software. Amazing software. You need to organize your thinking. Now once you've organized your thinking, we need to have certain other skills, and those are you might think that I'm talking about intrapersonal skills, but no, I'm not talking about intrapersonal skills. I am talking about entrepreneurship. But now I'm restricting the domain to entrepreneurship within an organization. Let us talk about Kiran Bedi. I'll give you another example like Tata's. I'm talking about Mr. Seth. I'm talking about Mr. R.K. Kumar, who did it for Tata's. Now I'm talking about entrepreneurship by Mrs. Kiran Bedi in Tihar jail. When she was the superintendent, I'm sorry, I believe she was the Director General there of the prisons, and when she was looking after Tihar jail with 10,000 inmates, being in a government body, she was so entrepreneurial that she went on to get the Maxi Award. International award she got for that. And what was the enterprise all about? First thing she decided, it's my job. I need to do it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it the best. Nobody can beat me to it. And then what did she do? She started education for the inmates. She started dancing classes for them. She started singing classes for them. She taught them discipline. And then she talked about good morals. Today, it can be confidently said that she was able to convert not less than 20% of the convicts to good citizen beings. To be good citizen beings. And those citizens today are the key people who are doing service to the society. Again, converting the other convicts to be good human beings. That was a fantastic example of social intrapreneurship. So when you talk about living within the confines of an organization, and when you're talking about entrepreneurship there, you're conjoining the two things, and we call it intrapreneurship. Every organization needs to do the same. We give certain goals, we set certain limits, and then the same thing is forward and is headed by one person, and he becomes the entrepreneur. He is supposed to not give the results according to a particular thing, but he's just supposed to grow that part, that branch of the organization into a major organization. And for this, certain types of interpersonal skills are compulsory, which everybody says, I know it. I am very good at it. I think I got 90%, you know. Let's just people talk to me about communication. I remember a teacher telling me once. And what was she telling me? Pradeep, you know why I'm a famous teacher? Because my pronunciation is very good. And I said, yes. No, her pronunciation, the word is pronunciation and not pronunciation. She was wrong. Then what went wrong? Where was the mistake? The mistake was that what she thought she knew was within the confines of her knowledge in front of the students. But beyond the student level, she was a practical zero. Now let me come to the company part of it. You are working within a company. Now how do you make the company grow? Let us say you are working for ABC Corporation. ABC Corporation is into manufacture of let's say car manufacturer. Now how are you going to use this intrapersonal skills there? First thing, you join in as a production manager. What next? When you join in as a production manager, you find that all the production is going on, and there is always a certain kind of inventory which is far too much in the organization. Far too much. And that type of it is hurting the company in some way. So what do you do next? You think that you can bring the inventory down by ABC method. Now this particular method, you are supposed to go and tell your boss, look boss, let's cut down on the inventory and this is the way we can do it. So what does the boss do? He says, all right, okay, ठीक है, हाँ बाद में बात करेंगे, we'll talk later about this. Over. That's it, over and out. The issue is forgotten. You also got onto your own family problems and your friends, and you had to go here and there. Maybe you go to another job or something and you lost it all. Then where was the problem? First thing, you did not think a lot about it. You thought you knew the answer. The first thing you should have done is mind map. Do the mind mapping. Organize your thoughts. Then what you should have done? You should have used you should have made a presentation. The presentation had to be very well organized. Did you have the right communication skills? What about the persuasion? People take it very lightly, but you have to be also persuasive. Why and how? That is what it means. So did you develop your communication skills? Today I find a lot of people, because they just can't speak English properly, are left behind in the organization. Let's talk about the IT sector. Just four Indian IT companies on the IT sector today have made a mark in the world. And you can check this out on 10,000startups.com. Just four. When India is known as the country of professional software developers, why four? Why not the others? What happened? What happened to the others? We have got more than 5 crore software engineers. What happened to these 5 crore software engineers? This is the problem. So what went wrong? What did the manager not do? He did not put everything on paper, number one. Number two, he did not use his communication skills. Did not use his persuasion skills with the manager. He just told him once, twice, maybe thrice, and that's it over. You need to persuade him. You need to persuade him to look at the matter much more seriously. You need to prepare a file. You need to organize a thought process. You need to put it on paper. You need to give it to him. And that is what is called entrepreneurial spirit. What does the entrepreneur do? All he does is what everybody else does. Everybody talks. He puts it on paper, presents it to the bank, takes a loan, starts organization. Goes to a venture capital, again puts it on paper, presents it before them, persuades them to give him the money to do something big. In the organization, you have to find the niche where you can tell your management, your boss, everybody that I can do this for the organization. But then what is required? What is required? That you have the necessary communication skills. Okay, write down one more thing. Please use your pen and paper. How about using Grammarly.com? Check out your language, command of the language first thing. And you'll be surprised at how poor you are in English. You might have scored 95, 96% in English in 10th and 12th. You might be a BA in English. Check it out. You'll find how poor your command is. Second, does the writing make sense? How do you check that your writing makes sense? The best thing is to read it again and again at different times of the day. Read it after 2 days, check it out, and you'll find that your presentation making skills will improve. You don't need a teacher, even though there are courses, detailed courses available in Delhi, in Mumbai, but you need to check it out yourself first. How good are you? Grammarly.com. Check it out. It's so simple. Now next comes your own persuasion. You need to persuade people to do it. There are books on it. You can check out Amazon.com. All the books on persuasion. No problem. Then you need to also develop your problem-solving skills. But are you ready with it? The problem-solving skills. You are not able to solve problems. Then there is a problem. You have been always running away from maths. And that's how you didn't develop your problem-solving skills. The worded problems, if you remember in school back then. So we need to develop our problem-solving skill. Then there are other skills which are required. We have a beautiful network. All of us, I bet all the attendees today have a beautiful network out there. They have a network of friends. But do they have the necessary business network? For example, you want to organize a show. The moment you need to organize a show, you need to know what all things you require. Where are you going to get the sound system? Where are you going to get the video system? Where are you going to get the standees? Who's going to go make the presentations? Where will you get the necessary lighting done from? What about the hall? What about the day? Are you on the right day? All these questions need to be answered. And when you, even if you have the answer to all these questions, where do you get them from? And that is where the networking skills are very, very critical to any organization, to any person. Unless, and if all the people had all these skills, the entire organization has the skill. And that is why the intrapreneur exists. That's how the entrepreneur exists. Everybody has the skills, necessary skills. Another thing is when we talk about thinking, so like I said, like right from the beginning of this webinar until now, I've been emphasizing on the point of thinking and organized thinking. That's what is called strategy. When you say, when you do thinking, it's normal. Everybody, you dream, I dream, we all dream. But organized thinking, and that is what entrepreneur all about, and so goes for the intrapreneur. There's not much of a difference between an intrapreneur and an entrepreneur. The difference is guts. The intrapreneur will find it very difficult to exist in vacuum. He needs the shield of somebody. He needs the shield. And that shield is provided by the organization he is in, till his mind is mature enough. But the entrepreneur is a person who works only on his own guts. He's not bothered. He's not bothered at all about whether he's going to get the shield of the organization or not, the cover of the organization. He just goes ahead and says, let me do it. Let me do it. I'm ready to fail. But even an entrepreneur, he also says, I'm ready to fail, but I still need the shield. That's the only difference. So what is the next very important? I was just talking about thinking, organized thinking, that's all. And now I'm talking about critical thinking skills. These need to be developed. Peter Drucker has rightly talked about strategic business units, SBUs, long back. Today we know them vaguely as profit centers. But they are not really profit center, cannot be called a strategic business unit. We decide on a particular strategy. Let us talk about a product called Nano, Tata Nano. How did Mr. Ratan Tata bring down the cost of Tata Nano? You think he did something amazing? Do you think he said, okay, I'll give you order of 20,000 pieces, 2 lakh pieces, you kindly bring the rate down for me? No, he did not do that. He brought all the ancillary suppliers under one roof within a short distance. He talked to a lot of people, tell them, will you manufacture within 100 meters of my company? Let's bring down the transportation cost. So what did he do? He took 900 acres of land at Singapore. But of course, thanks to Mamata Banerjee or whatever the issue, that's their problem. Not I'm talking about management or here about management. Well, what did he do? He brought them all under one umbrella, very nearby, all within the vicinity. The transportation cost became zero. He saved nearly 15 to 20% on the cost alone, just there itself. 15 to 20% he was able to save on just the transportation cost. So what did he do? He did critical thinking. What did he do? Critical thinking. Of course, the Tata name backed him. The name of the Tatas, everybody was sure 100% they'll get huge orders and that Tatas cannot fail. But all right, but what did he do? The point is he was able to organize more than 700 manufacturers under one roof, and all of them invested their money, this thing. The inventory cost was cut down to a bare minimum, and transportation became almost zero, and he was able to cut down the cost 15 to 20% there. So if you take our Alto and cut down its cost, what is the price that you're coming to? These are the small things which matter and which matter huge. And that is what comes under the concept of critical thinking. Not everybody can do critical thinking. Critical thinking is something which does take a lot of time. It is developed over a period of time. It is not developed in one day. So what do? You start playing. How about check out your paper, Times of India. Come to the Delhi Times or Bombay Times or whatever. Come to page number 2 or 3. I guess page number 2. You'll find a thing called Mind Bender over there. Mind Bender. Check it out. Start doing with them. Play with them. It's not based on information. When you play Scrabble, you're playing using information. But Mind Bender doesn't use information. It makes you think. Think. The more thinking you do, the better it is. I want you to note down one more name. I mean, you could check out so many of them, similar ones. But you can check out this particular site called Lumosy, L-U-M-O-S-Y, and .com, of course. Check this site out, and you'll be surprised that you have so many exercises on critical thinking. And today's generation has a major advantage of Google. whatever you talk about, whatever, let's say the word whatever, key it in to Google, put it into Google, check it out. You'll get 20 different points of view. Have you got those points of view about the word whatever? And suddenly you find, if you exercise your brain like this every day, continuously, non-stop for just 2-3 months, you'll be in an amazing amount of thinker. And that's what creativity is all about. Somebody asked me a long time back, what's creativity? What's information? What's knowledge? And who is a genius? Let me just try to clear your thought process on this. Who is first, let us say anything, any bit of information is just information. If you know anything, it's information. Like I tell you, Manmohan Singh is the Prime Minister of India. All of you say, yeah, right, great. Manmohan Singh is the Prime Minister of India. So what? What next? If he's the Prime Minister of India, so what next? Nothing. All of you will think, right now you're thinking in your mind, let's keep quiet. What can we say? I mean, of course, we're not on an exchange mode right now. But you'll say, so what? Another person sitting there, oh, he's showing off. He knows Manmohan Singh. He's the Prime Minister of India, so what? Another guy says, yeah, he's a Sardaji and he's the Prime Minister of India. A third guy says, all right, he's a Sardaji and I know a Sardaji friend who's a politician. I think he's also from the Congress Party, and what he does, he tries to find connections, tries to get a work done from the PMO. So what did you do? He thought about the information. He thought about the information. When you think about the information, the thing is called knowledge. Information transforms into knowledge. I repeat, when you think about information, it is called knowledge. And small pools of knowledges are created, IT field. When you give me a computer, I'm illiterate, computer illiterate, you may say so. But believe me, the best technical guy in the computer field cannot beat me the amount of money I earn thanks to one stupid little computer. No, it's not stupid little computer. So I know how to use a computer. Maybe I don't know how to program a computer, right? But I know how to use it. To another person, it's just a place where he can play games. To another person, the computer is just there. It's just sitting on the table. What does he do with it? He doesn't know. So it's all about the thinking that you do about the information. Then it turns into knowledge. And we have got huge amount of pools of knowledge in this world. And when these pools of knowledges are joined together, it is called creativity. It's called creativity. So somebody knew a printer. Somebody knew computers. And they joined it together and they made it. And they created a new software. Let's say start with paint. So they used painting. They started doing painting on the computer. Today painting is, any designer uses CorelDRAW, uses Adobe. Any designer uses computer. So what happened? Two different pools of knowledge conjoined together to form a third pool of knowledge. And when all these pools of knowledge are limited by a particular boundary line, and this boundary line, which might seem that, okay, this is the max that is possible, nothing beyond that can happen. But then somebody breaks through. And when somebody breaks through this boundary of knowledge, it is called, that person is called a genius. And there are just 3 geniuses on earth up till now. The first one was, of course, the great Leonardo da Vinci. 400, 500 years back, he thought about making helicopters. That's a joke. They didn't even know the use of the wheel properly that time. They were not aware of electricity. They were not aware of aerodynamics. When the word doctor had not been invented, he knew exactly how the child sits inside a womb. He drew the entire anatomy of the body. How did he do that without the X-ray machine? Amazing, that guy, Leonardo da Vinci. The next one was Mr. Newton, of course. I am all sure you are all tired of Newton's first law, second law, and third law. And the third one, of course, was Einstein. How could he think about relativity? How could he think about the theory of relativity? So these were the various critical thinking. So what did they all do? They all did the critical thinking. I hope you all are clear about what's information, what's knowledge, and who's a genius, and what's creativity. Let's get our facts clear. Today when a child shows off in front of on the computer or in the TV screen and he says, all right, Ask him about anything and he says, okay, what is the capital of this country? So-and-so. What is the capital of that country? So-and-so. Who's the president of so-and-so country? He is able to give you information. He's not everybody calls him a genius. Kautilya. He is being branded as a genius. No, he's not a genius. He has a lot of information. Definitely. He has a lot of information. But he's not a genius. Let's get our facts clear. Unless you cannot convert information into knowledge, and that can only be done by a engine called the thinking engine. So let's start thinking, and like I coming back again to the old point, organized thinking, use mind mapping software, and you'll find that where you fault, you'll find your own faults, and you'll be able to grow yourself. That's my assurance to you. That's my guarantee to you. Now, if you were able to organize all your thinking, and when you're sure that you have been able to take away all the small mistakes, and you have been able to organize it into one long chain without any weak links, then what do you do next? You present it. And to present it, you need to have good communication skills. So get your communication skills right. Now, once your communication skills are right, your persuasion skills are right, and your intrapersonal, like your own good, your time management skills, your selling skills, your willing to learn more and more skills, your writing skills, all these are important. Don't worry about the leadership. Today I'm able to talk in front of you because I have the knowledge, and I'm 100% sure that nobody has got better knowledge in this field than me. So I'm able to talk to you about it. And if somebody is better than me, I'm willing to learn from it. That's the difference. That is the difference. And after that, it's all about managing your money, managing your stress, and managing the most important thing in life. And that thing is the never die attitude. That will be every person in this world who will be ready to put you down, who will be ready to tell you, you can't do it, but you have to do it. You can do it. There is absolutely no problem. Every person on earth can do it. There is no person who cannot do it. And I'm going to talk to you about a particular lady, okay? And if you can, I think most of you use torrent, and perhaps I will of course be mailing it to you, but if you just key in amazing woman in YouTube also, amazing woman, and you'll be fine. You'll be this amazing woman, no arms. If you do this in YouTube, you'll be able to see this lady, amazing lady. She doesn't have arms. She doesn't have arms. Only legs. That's right. Only legs. And she's able to do it. Then why we are not able to do it? We are not able to do it because we don't try to do it. That is the thing. So first thing I'd like to tell you is that everybody can do it. But you have to be ready for failure. And as an intrapreneur, and not an entrepreneur, I'm talking about as an intrapreneur, the biggest problem is that you will have 2,000 people telling you, your boss sitting on your head, hammering you down, you can't do it. Your colleagues telling you, yaar, kya kar raha hai? What are you doing, man? And that's where the problem lies. And then you're going to sit down and say, no, I can't do it. But first, get your facts right. Think a lot about them. See to it that there are no weak links in your thinking. Present it to your boss. Work on him. That means work on him means what? Don't go and bash him up. Don't go and beat him up. What do? You just go and persuade him. Of course, check his mood. That's a part of the persuasion. How do you persuade? Check out, you can buy these books. You can download on torrent, etc. The point is persuade, and get your thing through. But you should have a never say die attitude, and you'll learn a lot. Someday, even if you were to leave the organization and go, you'll make a fantastic entrepreneur. Every person can do it. Every person should do it. Keep trying. You'll fail 1,000 times. Say one more 1,000 times, I would like to fail. And keep trying. I'm already 50. There's no reason to give up. No reason to give up. Let me tell you a small story about a person. Of course, I'm really sorry because of my PowerPoint presentation getting conged off. Something wrong. I'm not able to mail it to you, of course. There's a gentleman, he was 92 years old in US of A, United States of America, and he started a company at the age of 92 years. And when he called everybody for the press conference, a journalist asked him, "Sir, you are 92. Why you are starting a company now? You need to relax." So he told him one line, "If I live to the age of 110, what explanation will I give to myself for not doing anything for 18 years? 18 years not doing anything." And some of you, as I can see, that are already the age, it must be in the age of 30 to 35 years. So you can imagine you got 60 years, 70 years ahead of you. So as a hardcore intrapreneur, don't you think you should have the very necessary never die attitude? You may stay as an entrepreneur within an organization for maybe a lot more time, or a little less time. Or you might just jump out and become an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, you need to grow, you need to do anything, you need to acquire the skills of an intrapreneur. That's an entrepreneur within an organization. I gave you two famous examples. I talked about all the people from the Tatas. Every Tata organization was headed by a non-Tata, and that's why they became so big. It was not family controlled. It was 60 years back, it was not family controlled. Until today, it is not family controlled. Now, of course, the family is over. Now we got Cyrus Mistry out there. Similarly, I talked to you about Kiran Bedi, and you take a look at any MNC today, worldwide, whether it's European or whether it's USA. Let's talk about Larsen and Toubro, L&T in India. Who's L and who's T? Ask anybody in L&T, he won't know. Forget about us. But they're there. I believe Mr. Larsen is still alive. I'm not very sure about this. But the point is, the promoters are gone. Still, the organizations are going on. How are they going on? Well, we had one Mr. Ajay Nayak out there. How are these organizations going on? These organizations are going on because of the entrepreneurial spirit of some people within the organization. You need to give a reason to your boss. This is the reason. Please don't throw me out of the job. I don't want to lay back. I want this organization to grow. And then you will grow. The day you want your organization to grow, you're going to grow. Nobody can stop you from growing. And that is what is called intrapreneurship. Thank you. Aradhana?